think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. Don't believe he can hurt Canelo. Just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful.
He just need to be left unsaid. I understand he's articulating like his point of view, like, look, this is all natural work. We're just working hard at it. We're doing XYZ.
Wonder, will people say that, no, Canelo was going down and he had had enough? That there might be an excuse for that. So.
Yes.
Some believe that boxing-wise, Terence Crawford could give Canelo Alvarez real problems. But the question remains, can he hurt him? Crawford has never been in the ring with anyone as powerful as Canelo, and that difference in strength could become the deciding factor. When fighters insist that everything in camp is all natural and that they're just working hard, it often fuels speculation. And with Canelo, those questions have always hovered around him, especially in the toughest moments of his career.
You know what? I think my initial reaction would be to say that I think that Crawford would be the superior boxer, as great as Canelo is, as seasoned as he is, with 65 fights, if I recall, on his record. I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. Don't believe he can hurt Canelo. Just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer. But if he can't hurt Canelo, you can't keep him off of him. He says it's a legacy fight, and he believes he can do the same, and he wants to do the same against a fighter the caliber of Canelo Alvarez, which is why we haven't really seen him in the ring against anybody else. Fortunately, that's the business of boxing. He's a victim of it, not a villain.
My first reaction is this. Crawford may very well be the superior boxer. As great and as seasoned as Canelo is, with 65 fights on his record, Crawford's style and skills could give him fits. Still, if Crawford cannot hurt Canelo, then he may not be able to keep him off. Crawford calls this a legacy fight, one that could define his career against a fighter of Canelo's caliber. Some argue he hasn't faced many elite opponents, but that's often the business of boxing. He's been more of a victim than a villain in that respect. Meanwhile, Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's longtime trainer, has addressed the lingering allegations about performance-enhancing substances. Reynoso has been accused in the past of allowing fighters under his gym to use banned substances, but he has firmly denied these claims. He insists that his fighters, including Canelo, manage their own nutrition and that his focus is strictly on training strategy, skill development, and mental preparation.
Eddie Reynoso says, starting now, I'll be working 100% with a team that I can supervise. I've let the boxers who have come to me to train have their own nutrition team. So all of these fighters popping because of their nutrition team. Eddie Reynoso is guilty by association, so you have to clear the shit up. That's what I was saying about Victor Conte when he came with his transparency. I'm doing the same now with Eddie Reynoso. He knows he has to clean that shit up. I suggest to Eddie Reynoso, if you're going to be 100% in control of the nutrition team, join Snack. They got hyper-exfoliated, futuristic, hyperbolic chain. Get Nello on Snack. Hey, brother, Nello on Snack with the futuristic 1.121 gigawatt, brother.
It is true that several fighters coached by Reynoso, 7 by some counts, have failed PED tests. However, Reynoso maintains that this does not implicate Canelo. He argues that each case must be judged individually and that ultimately, fighters are responsible for what goes into their bodies. In Canelo's case, Reynoso stresses, the program has always been clean and extremely cautious with both food and supplements.
Boxing corruption at its absolute finest, but how does it connect to Eddie Reynoso and Canelo team? So Rodriguez Jr. failed his test after the Galal fight. He set the record for the most punches landed in that fight. It even prompted people like Sonny Edwards during the fight to say, this is weird. And yet, he will not be punished. In fact, he'll be kind of rewarded because he's going to get ordered an immediate rematch for the WBC belt. The only thing he's got to do is have a 12-month probation period with random testing. Now, WB are doing this because they have ruled that proven unintentional use. It just so happened he took stuff that was extremely beneficial to his conditioning. Here is the WBC official statement. Feel free to pause this and read it. But what's it got to do with these two fine gentlemen? Well, Rodriguez Jr. is part of Canelo team, and he was rumoured to be managed by Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso since came out and said, no, I don't manage him, blah, 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 and he distanced himself. Now, why that's important is because Eddie Reynoso has been connected to, I think now, 6 or 7 fighters who have all failed their drugs tests. The rumour around town, now this is just a rumour, and definitely not true, is that these two may have smoothed things over with the WBC, maybe used their position of power to get Rodriguez Jr. a bit of a lenient sentence, put it that way. Again, that's not true, I've just completely made that up. But what is unbelievable is a fighter nowadays can actually fail a drugs test and not be punished whatsoever. In fact, can be rewarded. Unbelievable.
On the other side, Terence Crawford's strength coach has made a bold prediction. He claims that Crawford will beat the brakes off Canelo, pointing to the camp's confidence, preparation, and relentless work ethic. He emphasized that their training is not just about adding power, but about building strength and stamina in balance, targeting every area to ensure Crawford can match Canelo across all departments. These comments have only added fuel to the fire as fans debate whether Crawford's power at a higher weight will truly be enough to trouble Canelo.
Listen, I get a lot of texts asking how I'm doing, how camp is going, so I figured I could just put it up in one post. So I'm in the mountains. This dude's about to beat the brakes off Canelo and be the greatest boxer of all time, and I get to play a part in it. All is well, truly well. We good. I'm good. I'm real good.
Another factor that analysts have highlighted is the size of the ring. In a standard-sized ring, Crawford would have more room to use his movement, speed, and tactical positioning to keep Canelo off balance. History shows that Canelo has struggled with fighters who maintain distance and employ lateral movement, as seen in his loss to Dimitri Bivol. If Crawford can keep him chasing, he could frustrate Canelo and control the pace. But if the ring is smaller, Canelo will have an easier time cutting off the space, forcing a more physical battle.
If the ring is standard size, I think Bud beats his ass all around the ring for 12 rounds. If Canelo want to come forward and get the whooping, that's what he's going to get. But that's the thing. In that last Skull fight, he didn't want to take the fight to Skull. So if Canelo don't come to fight, I don't want to see Crawford stand in the middle of the ring and take that type of risk. Because Crawford, he talk about retirement, but he can still go on after this. So he ain't got to take that punishment. He can run it back with him. I don't want Crawford forced into a dog fight with Canelo. No, I think he going to whoop his ass off.
Veteran broadcaster Jim Gray called this matchup a great fight between two men with exceptional legacies. He praised Canelo for his consistency across multiple divisions, while giving equal respect to Crawford for his dominance at welterweight. Gray pointed out that this fight is not just about titles, but about history. Both men are fighting to secure their place among the all-time greats.
I think we want to see the best fight the best. And even though there's been a difference in weight divisions here, I think that, people clamor for big names and big fights and guys who are great to fight each other. So being for the institution, and I am for the institution of boxing, I think Canelo has been great for boxing, and I think Terence Crawford has been great for boxing. So how this is going to play out exactly, I don't know. Terence Crawford is older, and Canelo has, twice as many rounds? So, I don't know how that combination ends up. The weight difference. Canelo's going to be a bigger man and a bigger frame and coming up in that weight. So I think it's just going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be at the Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play. And it's going to be filled up. And we're going to have a huge, huge night for boxing for the world to see.
One follow-up. Do you feel like Terence Crawford has the style to cause Canelo problem?
Does he have the style to what?
Cause Canelo problems.
Terence Crawford's a great fighter. Terence Crawford can give anybody problems. Whether or not he will, I don't have that crystal ball. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Renowned trainer Abel Sanchez, however, is not convinced. He believes the size difference will be too much for Crawford to overcome. Weight classes exist for a reason, Sanchez said, noting that even with Crawford's talent, natural size and strength cannot be ignored. In his view, Canelo's power at 168 pounds will be a mountain too steep for Crawford to climb.
As everybody has opinions, and my opinion is that I think Canelo will be too big for him. I think Crawford needed a little more seasoning, a little more seasoning of his weight, that is. He's had a year and hasn't had really any fights against those caliber fighters. The last fight he had a 154-pounder, moved up one division, had a difficult time in a way that he wasn't dominating as he did in the lower divisions. And you talk about a guy in Canelo who's really only bad outing was at the Bivol fight. And Bivol, when I first talked about that fight, when they asked me, Bivol is a Gennady Golovkin just 15 pounds heavier. Same skills, maybe not the punching power, but very skilled. So anybody below 75, Canelo is dominated easily. You know, after the 5th or 6th round, it seems to be sparring sessions for him. So I think that he does very well, and I think he wears Crawford out and wins a going-away decision. Crawford is an all-time great, obviously, but there's weight divisions, you know?
Definitely as well. Abel, I'll leave it there, but I'll leave you with the final words. Any final words for the fans waiting to see you in the corner on Saturday night?
I'm very happy to be back. I retired for 3 years.